Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a truly captivating journey, one that immerses us in a world where the everyday rhythms of life unexpectedly collide with powerful magic. Our focus is on an author whose words don't merely tell a story, they possess the astonishing, sometimes dangerous, ability to shape reality itself. We've been handed this, rich collection of personal entries and dialogues that paint a really vivid picture of one woman's profound transition, the blossoming of new relationships, and the jaw-dropping power of the written word. Get ready for a blend of humor, heartwarming connection, and moments that will have you rethinking the very meaning of well-read.
It's an extraordinary set of sources, truly. This deep dive offers a unique and intimate glimpse into the life of Rose, our central character, an author navigating a brand new chapter in every sense. What's particularly compelling here is the way the familiar, the mundane-like moving house or, starting a new job, is intricately interwoven with the extraordinary, the magical. This gives us a really rich tapestry of character development and world building that feels incredibly real and impactful. We're not just exploring what happens to Rose, but delving into why these events are so profoundly significant for her and for the people around her, uncovering the underlying currents that make this world pulse with life.
Okay, let's open the door to this new chapter, literally. We find Rose on the cusp of a major transition. She's just moved into a new cottage a few days before an important trip, and despite the fresh start, she's grappling with a surprisingly deep sense of nostalgia and even, abandonment. She admits this feeling is silly, but it's such a profoundly human moment before we even begin to delve into the magical elements of her world. It really speaks to that universal comfort we find in routine, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That sense of home attaches quickly.
Right. For years, her life had this predictable, almost the comforting rhythm. She would get up and write in the afternoon, visit Granny, home for dinner, reading, sometimes more writing, then the next morning the whole cycle spins round again. Pretty set, you know?
Very set, a clear structure.
But now, all that comforting predictability is being swapped for a job that feels inherently unpredictable, a real leap into the unknown.
It absolutely does. And it immediately reveals a crucial vulnerability in Rose, despite her adventurous spirit and the excitement of new beginnings she must be feeling. This silly feeling of abandoning a home she's barely settled into highlights just how deeply we, as humans, crave security and routine, especially when facing significant life changes. It's not just about the physical space of the cottage. It's about the disruption of a deeply ingrained pattern of life, a comforting cycle that defined her days.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This initial apprehension grounds Rose, making her incredibly relatable even before her magical nature fully manifests. It's that quiet anxiety that often accompanies even a chosen fresh start, a very real internal conflict. And this fear of the unknown is further compounded by the nature of her new employment.
Precisely, because her new job isn't anything close to a typical gig, Rose is embarking on her very first actual job, and the description of her boss is certainly something.
Oh, yeah.
A wildly eccentric wizard who wants me to call him an inappropriate nickname, who teases me relentlessly. I mean, a wizard boss who practically demands an inappropriate nickname, that's quite the first impression. It immediately signals that this isn't going to be your typical 9 to 5.
Not at all.
Rose anticipates a long couple of months, and honestly, who wouldn't be a little daunted? This instantly sets a very unconventional tone, clearly indicating that this world operates on its own peculiar rules far beyond the mundane. This initial trepidation hints at the unique challenges and the profound personal growth awaiting Rose, pushing her far outside her established comfort zone.
Yes, that description, wildly eccentric wizard, is incredibly key, isn't it? It immediately establishes a dynamic of unpredictability and a complete lack of, traditional professional boundaries, which will prove to be both a source of challenge and a powerful catalyst for Rose's development. This isn't just a boss, it's a personality, a force of nature, and one that promises to push Rose's buttons and rapidly expand her understanding of the world she's now inhabiting.
Yeah.
Her anticipation of a long couple of months isn't just about the work itself, but about navigating this entirely new and frankly bizarre social landscape. It subtly prepares us, the listeners, for a story where the lines between work and personal life, and between the ordinary and extraordinary, are not just blurred, but often completely erased.
And this is where it truly gets interesting, because despite these professional anxieties and the unsettling prospect of an eccentric wizard boss, her personal life is flourishing. It creates this beautiful counterpoint to her external uncertainties. Her relationship with Lou is rapidly growing in comfort and intimacy, becoming a vital anchor for her.
Ah, yes.
We see this through their wonderfully playful banter, like when Lou charmingly says, "Oh, I could get used to this. You'd make quite a nice wife." Rose's internal reaction is so telling. She flushed crimson and felt ears burn from the innuendo, but I also loved that we were getting so comfortable with each other. It speaks to a shared language of affection that feels both fresh and profoundly intimate.
It truly is. And this contrast is incredibly revealing. Rose's external world is becoming increasingly unpredictable with new jobs and magical eccentricities, but her internal, emotional world, anchored by Lou, is blossoming with stability and joy. This highlights a universal human need, the comfort of deep connection as an anchor in times of profound change.
Definitely.
Their playful banter, particularly the innuendo, signifies a rapidly deepening level of trust and comfort that has quickly moved past any initial awkwardness or uncertainty. And that four-peat line. Initially, it might seem like a simple, cheeky jest about repeated intimacy, a sign of their growing physical comfort and mutual attraction. But as their story unfolds and their bond deepens, it truly becomes a profound marker of their commitment, subtly hinting at a future together, a consistent, reassuring presence.
That's a great insight. It gains so much weight later.
Exactly. And Lou's cheerful energy, described as waging her ass back and forth like she had a tail, and Rose's affectionate swat, are small but powerful demonstrations of a physical and emotional closeness. It's both endearing and foundational to Rose's burgeoning support system. This rapid yet natural evolution in their relationship provides Rose with an essential, stable emotional core as she navigates an increasingly magical and chaotic external world. It shows us how vital personal connections are when everything else is shifting. Lou isn't just a romantic partner. She's an invaluable, practically supportive figure, as evidenced by her efficiency during their magical move.
And speaking of rapid, let's talk about that magical moving day itself. How do they actually move their stuff? To quickly move their belongings, Rose calls upon a portal demon.
A portal demon?
Whom she conveniently placates with a muffin to keep the portal open for an hour.
A muffin? Seriously?
Right. This detail is so wonderful because it grounds the magic in practicality, doesn't it? Demons here are almost like part of the service industry. Lou, always the efficient one, is incredibly quick, handing bags through the portal with remarkable speed, while Rose, by contrast, struggles to manage only a couple at a time.
Interesting. That subtle character dynamic immediately reveals their contrasting abilities and perhaps even their inherent natures. Lou's strength and maybe even a bit of her own magic versus Rose's more relatable human limitations.
Yeah, exactly. Rose's first day then starts with a rush, punctuated by the distinct chiming of the town hall bell, immediately leading to anxiety about being late. She notes it's a three-peal run from her new apartment to work, immediately establishing the fast pace and pressure of her new life.
What's truly fascinating here is precisely that normalization and grounding of magic in everyday life. The portal demon isn't some terrifying entity of legend. It's a transactional service provider, paid with something as mundane as a muffin. This instantly integrates magical elements into Rose's new world, making it feel organic and real, rather than an otherworldly spectacle.
Yeah, it feels lived in.
Right. The difference in their moving styles, Lou's almost effortless efficiency compared to Rose's more human struggle, is a very subtle yet powerful piece of characterization. It hints at Lou's inherent capabilities, perhaps her own innate strength, or a subtle use of her natural gifts, while simultaneously underscoring Rose's more relatable human experience. The three-peal run is a brilliant detail, immediately immersing us in the practical realities of Rose's new job and her race against time, showing the immediate pressure and the new rhythms she must adapt to. It sets the tone for a dynamic environment where even the clock has its own unique cadence and demands.
So, we've seen Rose battle with moving and found solace in love, but now it's time for work, and her very first impression of her new job starts with this classic lost in translation moment, or maybe lost in bell ringing moment. She arrives, believing herself to be 6 peals early, according to her interpretation of the town hall bell. Simple enough, right?
Seems logical.
But her boss, Sparky, immediately corrects her, explaining, no, the first peal means it's 9 o'clock. That means if you're not here before the first peal, you're late.
Oh, wow. So she's actually late.
Instantly late. This interaction is both quite comedic and incredibly telling about the new world Rose inhabits.
It truly is. This exchange immediately establishes Sparky's no-nonsense, almost blunt communication style, and, more importantly, highlights the unique, often unwritten rules of this magical world. For us, a bell tolling might just mark the top of the hour, But here, it's a precise, nuanced system where the first peal itself signals the start of the hour. It's a subtle but critical distinction that completely upends Rose's conventional understanding of punctuality.
Totally throws her off.
Right. Rose, coming from a world with clocks and precise minutes, is completely caught off guard. This small misunderstanding isn't just a funny anecdote, it's a crucial piece of world building. It immediately immerses us in how different her new environment truly is, and how even basic assumptions like timekeeping are altered by magic or tradition. It shows that she's going to have to actively unlearn and relearn a lot about her surroundings, which will be key to her growth and adaptation.
And the uniqueness doesn't stop there. After that rather jarring introduction to local time, Sparky takes Rose to Lily's Magical Bakery for breakfast, and this place as well. It's an absolute wonder.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
It's described as a magical shop that looks after itself, meticulously keeping track of items and continually baking dull bits like the non-magical stuff, even when Lily, the owner, is out gathering magical ingredients.
A self-running bakery. That's amazing.
Isn't it? Lily herself is a welcoming and energetic presence. Sparky, meanwhile, demonstrates an absolutely enormous appetite for baked goods, explaining it's because magic uses lots of energy.
Ah, okay. That makes sense in this context.
Rose, having never had one before, tries a donut for the first time and, predictably, loves it. It's such a rich scene for world building, weaving the fantastical into the utterly mundane.
What's truly compelling here is the seamless integration of magic into daily life, particularly evident in the economic model of the bakery. This isn't just a quaint shop. It's a self-sustaining business where magic handled the dull bits of production and inventory, freeing Lily for more specialized magical tasks. This powerfully illustrates a practical entrepreneurial side of magic, showing how it can be woven into commerce and daily necessities without being overtly theatrical.
Right, it's just how things work there.
Exactly. Lily, as a character, provides a warm, grounding presence, a beautiful counterbalance to Sparky's more eccentric demeanor. And Sparky's enormous appetite, dismissively referred to by Lily as a human vacuum, isn't just a quirky detail for comic relief. His explanation, magic uses lots of energy, is a critical piece of information. It hints at the physical demands and energy expenditure required for magical practitioners. This will become a very important detail later on for understanding magical abilities in general. It connects the fantastic to a tangible, physical cost, making the magic feel more real and impactful. It makes you wonder what kind of grocery bill some of the more powerful wizards in this world must have.
That's a great point. A wizard-sized grocery bill. But Rose isn't just there for the magical donuts, is she? Because almost immediately after this charming bakery scene, Sparky drops some very specific instructions on her, which completely redefined her role. She probably envisions stocking shelves or taking care of customers, normal first job stuff.
Typical retail.
But he tells her journaling and note-taking are the best way to learn something. This seems like a subtle but profound redirection of her expectations. How does this particular instruction, essentially, to observe and write align with her inherent identity as an author?
It aligns perfectly. It's a masterstroke, really.
And what does it suggest about the true nature of her apprenticeship? And then he reveals a specific test for her. I want to see how you handle Salome.
Right. This instruction immediately redefines Rose's apprenticeship, aligning it perfectly with her identity as an author and truly connecting to our deep dive's theme of the power of words. Her job isn't about rote, manual tasks. It's about observation, understanding, and critical engagement with the world around her, which is fundamentally what a writer does. This reinforces the theme of active learning and critical thinking, pushing her to use her inherent skills in a new context.
So it's playing to her strengths, almost.
Exactly. The challenge to handle Salome isn't just a task. It's a direct test of Rose's empathy, her observational skills, and her ability to connect with complex, perhaps even difficult individuals. It immediately creates intrigue and sets up a significant character encounter, suggesting that Salome is not just a person, but perhaps a puzzle Rose is uniquely equipped to solve through her unique perspective as a storyteller. This isn't about brute force. It's about insight and connection, skills that are central to Rose's character.
This next segment for me is absolutely pivotal. When faced with Salome's extreme rudeness and dismissiveness, most people would simply recoil or, give up. But Rose, instead of backing down, seems to lean into the challenge, almost instinctively using her unique skills as an author, her profound empathy and curiosity, to try and connect with someone who appears almost intentionally difficult. She's not just observing the harshness, she's actively looking beyond it.
It takes a certain kind of person to do that.
For sure. Salome's responses are certainly something, demanding pink rainbows if she's to talk.
Pink rainbows, okay.
Starkly stating, "I don't do women," and even crudely complimenting Rose's looks. It's a very tough introduction, to say the least. And Salome quickly reveals her primary motivation: to earn money to escape the village, explicitly preferring cash and gems. Very direct.
This immediately introduces Salome as an incredibly complex, deeply guarded character, actively resistant to any form of connection. Her demands for pink rainbows and those crude comments aren't just random acts of rudeness. They're defensive mechanisms, designed to push people away, to test boundaries, and to perhaps see who is easily intimidated.
Makes sense, a defense mechanism.
Rose's calm, persistent approach, however, contrasts sharply with Salome's aggressive defensiveness. Rose's witty reply to the pink rainbows, "If you insist, they come out pink but they still smell like the privy," is crucial. It disarms Salome, showing Rose isn't easily shocked or intimidated. It's a subtle flex of Rose's quick wit and her ability to meet Salome's energy without resorting to anger.
Good point. She meets her on her level, but differently.
Right. Salome's blunt honesty about "I don't do women" and her materialistic goal, "I like money, money will get me out of this village," offers Rose an initial point of understanding. It's a raw, unfiltered expression of discontent and a clear desire for autonomy, which Rose, as we'll see, can certainly relate to. It's a glimmer of truth beneath layers of defense.
This raises an important question. How does Rose's identity as an author and her deeply personal worldview empower her to connect with individuals like Salome, who might otherwise be completely alienated? She's not just observing, she's actively seeking to understand, to find common ground, and to offer new perspectives. Rose articulates her motivation for getting to know people with such clarity. As an author, the more people I know, the more I have to write about, and I love writing.
It's your core drive.
Yeah. She then shares her strong critical views on the patriarchal aspects of religion, specifically mentioning the traditional wedding vows where the wife has to vow to obey the husband, and the concept of multiple wives. She emphasizes her own choice to become a writer so she could write my own set of rules.
Which is incredibly powerful.
She then gently encourages Salome, who admits she never really thought about it, to consider writing or reading, eventually inviting her to the bookstore. Sparky, ever the astute observer, notes that Salome appears afraid of men or just disgusted by them, adding another layer of depth to her aggressive demeanor.
This segment is absolutely crucial for understanding Rose's character and her unique method of empathetic engagement, directly linking her identity as an author to her ability to foster connection. Her identity as a writer isn't just a profession. It's a deeply ingrained lens through which she understands and navigates the world, driving her profound curiosity and her remarkable ability to see beyond surface-level rudeness.
That makes a lot of sense.
Her articulate critique of traditional religious structures, particularly the patriarchal elements, aligns perfectly with her desire for self-determination through writing her own set of rules. This isn't just a casual opinion. It's a deeply held personal philosophy that resonates with Salome's own unspoken yearning for control and escape. This shared perspective, or at least a similar questioning spirit regarding societal norms and restrictions, begins to subtly break down Salome's formidable walls.
So she's finding that connection point.
Exactly. Rose isn't preaching. She's offering a parallel path of empowerment through words and self-expression, a way to reclaim one's narrative. Sparky's observation that Salome seems afraid of men or just disgusted by them provides a deeper psychological layer to Salome's behavior, which Rose intuitively picks up on, informing her compassionate and patient approach. It shows that Rose is not just hearing Salome's words, but understanding the trauma and underlying pain behind them.
And this journey toward understanding the shared vulnerability truly leads to a pivotal moment. At the bookstore, Rose extends a simple but profound gesture, offering Salome a donut and her own book to read in a comfortable chair.
The power of a donut and a good book.
Seriously, the sheer act of offering comfort and a shared story immediately begins to create a safe, non-judgmental space. While reading, Salome displays a remarkable astuteness, immediately identifying the villain Damon in Rose's book, declaring, "I could tell right away that he was going to cause trouble and generally be vile."
Wow, she nails it.
Right. Rose then engages with Salome's insight, admitting her own past naivete about Damon, revealing a vulnerability that further builds trust. She makes an honest offer of help, highlighting shared experiences. Rose never knew her father, mirroring Salome's loss of her mother, and introduces the idea of Juliet as an ally, a safe connection. Then, Rose powerfully declares her intent to use her author power for good, stating with conviction that she has grown past the naive girl who wrote that opening chapter.
That's a huge statement for her.
It is. And Salome, after a moment of quiet processing, hesitantly asks for another donut and to talk a little bit more. It's a small but incredibly significant breakthrough.
This is a truly profound turning point, not just for Salome, but for Rose herself, marking a moment of deep self-reflection and commitment. The simple act of offering a donut in a book is an act of profound hospitality and trust, creating an environment where Salome feels safe enough to lower her guard and engage. Salome's sharp insight into Damon, identifying him as vile, isn't just literary criticism. It reveals her own perceptive nature, likely honed by difficult life experiences and an intuitive ability to spot danger and malice.
Right, she sees things clearly.
And this validation of her judgment by Rose is a key step in building their connection. Rose's vulnerability about her past self, admitting her naivete about Damon, is absolutely critical for building genuine trust with Salome. She's not presenting herself as a flawless hero, but as someone who has grown and learned, someone who understands what it means to be misled.
That's really important for trust.
Absolutely. Her powerful declaration to use her author power for good isn't just a statement, it's a mission statement, a vow that redefines her role beyond simply writing for personal expression. It's a commitment to active, positive intervention, signaling a new, more responsible chapter for Rose herself, where her words will actively shape a better reality. Salome's hesitant request to, "Could I have another donut and maybe talk a little bit more," signifies a monumental emotional shift, a willingness to open up and connect after what must have been years of guardedness and isolation. It's a testament to the power of empathy and shared story.
So we've witnessed Rose's deep empathy transform a seemingly impossible connection into a budding friendship. Incredible stuff. But just when things seem to settle into a new rhythm, the narrative takes an incredible turn, thrusting us into a completely new layer of the magical world.
Here we go.
Lou makes a surprise visit to Rose at work, meeting Sparky for the first time. Sparky immediately recognizes Lou as both a werewolf and a bard. The casual mention of her being a werewolf, which Rose already knows, further adds to the established magical reality of their world. It's just, a fact about Lou. Lou gratefully acknowledges the lovely apartment, and then with seemingly innocent charm, sings a song she co-wrote with Lily called "The Maker Was a Baker."
A sweet song about Lily sounds nice.
It does. But it prompts Sparky's immediate alarm, signaling that this isn't just any lovely song, it's an unwitting magical infraction of the highest order.
Oh, why? What's wrong with the song?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Indeed. Lou's arrival not only reinforces her supportive role, but also highlights her unique position as a bard. In this magical world, bards aren't just entertainers or musicians. They are often powerful magical practitioners. They can channel and amplify magic through their music and words, giving shape and force to spells and narratives. They are weavers of magical sound and story, capable of influencing the world around them in profound ways.
So bards have real power here.
Significant power. The casual mention of her being a werewolf further integrates these fantastical elements. It's this specific, often underestimated magical capacity of bards that makes their collaboration with a bibliomancer so potent and, as we'll discover, so legally volatile. What seems like a heartwarming, innocent song, "There is a maker who in Wildwood lives, the maker was a baker who gives and gives and gives. The baker was no faker. Her magic cures the hives. The maker was a baker with cures for all the wives," immediately triggers a serious, almost panicked reaction from Sparky. This isn't just a lovely tune. It's an unwitting transgression against deep, hidden magical laws, hinting at a world where art and power are far more intertwined than Rose initially understands.
I'm struck by the power ascribed to words in this world. It's not merely artistic expression. It's a tangible force capable of shaping reality and, when combined, becoming dangerously potent. Sparky, with a gravity that truly shifts the atmosphere, reveals the true nature of the situation. Rose is bibliomancer.
A bibliomancer, what's that exactly?
Right. And it's strictly illegal to set a bibliomancer's words to song because they are too powerful.
Too powerful. How so?
The consequences are already unfolding. The song is already widely sung, causing Lily to be incredibly busy. A direct, immediate, and overwhelming consequence of the song's power being activated, like her cures are working because of the song.
Wow, okay. The song is actually making magic happen.
Seems like it. Rose, initially completely unaware of her own bibliomancer status, offers to unwrite it or never sing it again, completely misunderstanding the true nature of this power and its widespread, irreversible impact. This raises an important question. What exactly is a bibliomancer, and how does their power manifest beyond simply writing to the point of being legally restricted and having such immediate, tangible effects?
This is the big reveal of Rose's true magical nature, and it profoundly changes our perception of her author power. Her words aren't just descriptive or evocative. They're active, generative forces that can literally alter the fabric of reality. The statement that they are too powerful implies that spoken or sung words from a bibliomancer don't just tell a story, they create or influence reality, making the narrative itself a direct form of magic.
So writing is magic for her, literally.
Exactly. A bibliomancer is someone whose written word holds immense, almost literal creative power. They don't just imagine worlds, they can quite literally write them into existence or change existing realities through their craft. Rose's initial, almost naive reaction to unwrite it or never sing it again powerfully underscores her learning curve regarding her own extraordinary abilities. She conceptualizes writing as a personal act, a form of self-expression, not a world-altering force that, once released, cannot be easily contained or reversed.
The genie's out of the bottle, so to speak.
Precisely. This moment is critical because it introduces the concept that certain forms of magical expression are so potent that society has found it necessary to legally restrict them, pointing to a profound historical understanding of the danger of unchecked narrative power.
And there's a deeply compelling historical precedent for this ban, one that illustrates the sheer scale of this power. Sparky explains the origin.
Ah, the history lesson. Always important.
Oberon, who is also a bibliomancer, and Titania, a bard, famously collaborated on a song that they wielded with such power that they used it to depose the former King Nuada of Emain Blatch.
They deposed a king.
Yeah,
With a song.
apparently so. This cataclysmic political event led to the immediate and permanent ban on any bard-bibliomancer collaboration. It's not an arbitrary rule born of fear. It's rooted in a momentous historical event, a regime change brought about by words and music.
That provides crucial world-building context, showing that magical laws are often born from significant political and historical events rather than arbitrary rules or abstract fears. The story of Oberon and Titania elevates the understanding of bibliomancy and bardic magic, from simple art forms to potent political and societal forces capable of regime change, even deposing a king.
It really ups the stakes.
Massively. This history underscores the severity of Rose's unwitting transgression and highlights the potential for chaos if such powers are unchecked. It's a clear, stark warning, illustrating that the combination of a bibliomancer's words and a bard's song is considered not merely powerful, but a weapon, a force capable of fundamentally altering the fabric of power and society itself. It makes Rose's predicament much more serious, as she has unknowingly tapped into a power that once brought down a monarchy, a power that the magical world clearly respects and fears.
Yet, despite these dire legal implications, the threat of being involved in a crime of this magnitude Rose's character truly shines through here. She quickly formulates a plan, demonstrating her unwavering optimism, her incredibly creative problem-solving, and her fierce loyalty to her friends and those in need.
She doesn't panic.
Not for long. She decides to continue playing Lily's song to drive more business her way, turning the legal problem into an economic boon for her friend. Genius, right?
Okay, that's clever damage control.
She also seizes the opportunity to recruit Salome for an apprenticeship at Lily's bakery, providing a safe haven and a purpose, killing two birds with one stone. And as for the legal issue, she plans to address it later with Oberon by pleading ignorance of her bibliomancer status until months later. Kicking the can down the road, maybe?
A risky move, but pragmatic.
Sparky, ever the observant one, marvels at Rose's unstoppable nature, noting, "Nothing ever hinders Rose. Once she sees what she perceives to be the right path, she just barrels ahead until the objective is achieved." She consistently reframes potential disasters as opportunities, a truly remarkable trait.
This really showcases Rose's core attributes and highlights a defining characteristic of her personality. Her quick formulation of a multi-pronged plan in the face of such a serious magical transgression reveals her as a pragmatic, incredibly resilient, and deeply resourceful individual. She doesn't panic or freeze. She strategizes. The cleverness of her damage control strategy is remarkable. She not only mitigates the immediate negative consequences, but actively turns them into opportunities.
Yeah, using the song for Lily, finding a spot for Salome.
Exactly. Using the widespread song to benefit Lily economically is brilliant, and finding a safe, productive place for Salome is a testament to her protective nature and her unwavering commitment to those she connects with. Sparky's internal monologue is an objective, almost admiring assessment of Rose's unstoppable drive. He acknowledges her as a powerful, almost elemental force, hinting at the immense energy required just to keep pace with her. It's a clear demonstration that Rose is not just an author with a powerful gift, but a natural leader and a formidable problem solver, driven by a powerful moral compass that consistently prioritizes the well-being of others. This is a moment where she truly steps into her role as an active force for good.
This next segment for me is absolutely pivotal. Up until now, Rose has been an observer, an empath, and a planner. But here we see her step fully into her power and in a way that truly blurs the lines between narrator and actor. She doesn't just write about justice, she actively enacts it, and in a way that is utterly unique to her burgeoning abilities as a bibliomancer. This is her true turning point, isn't it?
It certainly feels like it. The gloves come off.
We find Rose positioning herself outside the preacher's house near Salome's window, waiting for a signal. She paints a vivid, almost damning picture of the head deacon, describing him as a fat, frog-like, no-toad-like figure.
Ouch. Setting the scene.
The palpable tension builds as she waits, and then the chilling signal finally comes. Salome's desperate cry, "No, please stop." Rose enters, propelled by a clear moral conviction, moving from empathetic observer to direct, active intervener.
This scene is indeed a pivotal transformation for Rose. Her vigil outside Salome's window demonstrates a deliberate, calculated intent to intervene, moving beyond passive observation and into decisive action. The chilling signal, "No, please stop," immediately propels her into action, leaving no room for doubt about the urgency and gravity of the situation. Her vivid and somewhat derogatory description of the head deacon as toad-like is more than just an insult. It powerfully foreshadows her unique method of dispensing justice, where inner character can be made to manifest externally.
Right, that description becomes literal later.
Exactly. This isn't just a simple rescue. It's a righteous crusade, driven by her deep sense of justice and protection for Salome, a commitment to righting profound wrongs. It's a moment where Rose chooses to use her developing power, not just for problem solving, but for immediate, tangible, and deeply moral good.
What's fascinating here is the meta layer of Rose's power. She doesn't perform magic in a conventional sense. She writes it into existence, directly blurring the lines between narrative and reality. This raises an important question. What are the limits of her power? And what does it mean for the moral responsibility of an author who can literally rewrite truth?
Heavy questions.
In a truly dramatic confrontation, Rose enters the scene boldly claiming to have drugged your drinks, causing the head deacon and preacher to be unable to move, a fact she later clarifies internally. I just read that they were unable to move.
So she just wrote them stuck.
Pretty much. She then produces fabricated signed confessions detailing their abuse of the underage Salome for the past year and a half. She morally condemns them, and then, in a truly shocking display of raw protective anger, offers them a choice: severe prison consequences, or a rather graphic and undeniably painful physical humiliation. She even goes so far as to threaten, and I'm quoting here, to stick a broom so far up you bum you shape blood for the rest of your life.
Whoa, okay. She's not messing around.
Not at all. It's an incredibly visceral threat, demonstrating the fierce, immediate, and utterly uncompromising nature of her bibliomancy and her sense of justice. It's a powerful demonstration of bibliomancy's direct reality-altering capacity.
This scene isn't just a display of Rose's raw power. It's a profound ethical dilemma brought to life, an insight into the very nature of justice. Rose, as a bibliomancer, doesn't just narrate, she literally rewrites reality. Think about that for a moment. She conjures truth-fabricated confessions, a drugged state to achieve what she perceives as a righteous outcome. This challenges our very understanding of objective truth itself.
Can truth be subjective if you can write it?
That's the question, isn't it? Can or should truth be a construct of a higher moral purpose, especially when facing systemic abuse and the corruption of power, as we see with the head deacon and preacher? This is where the narrative shifts from simple fantasy to a deep philosophical exploration of an author's ultimate responsibility, not just for the story they tell, but the very fabric of the world they create. It pushes us to question, when does writing for good cross the line into playing God?
A very fine line, perhaps.
Her threats of literal, painful retribution highlight her fierce, protective justice, but also the dangerous, almost terrifying edge of her power. It's a nuanced exploration of how power, especially such absolute power, can be applied, and the heavy moral responsibility that comes with being able to literally rewrite truth. This is a truly chilling and thought-provoking power, the ability to make a narrative fact.
That blurred line between narrative and reality and the profound ethical questions it raises continues in the next moments. Rose forces the head deacon, now stripped of his clothes, to march through town.
Public shaming, then.
declaring with righteous indignation, "No, you don't. You look disgusting. If I had to look at you, then I think that the rest of the village would have to look at you." The preacher attempts to flee, but is brought back by guards. He tries to falsely accuse Rose of witchcraft, but at that crucial moment, Juliet arrives.
Ah, Juliet, the ally.
Exactly. And she vouches for Rose's trustworthiness, confirms her identity as the authoress. This is such an important moment of community support. Rose then uses her power to physically transform the head deacon into a giant, fat, smelly toad and the preacher into a weasel, after explicitly describing their true inner nature, making the metaphor real.
Literally writing them into their true forms.
She then provides a detailed, factual account of their crimes, theft, extortion, and sexual assault to the guards, ensuring that the legal system now has the undeniable truth.
The element of public humiliation as a tool for justice in this magical context is incredibly striking. Rose's demand that the head deacon parade naked through town is a direct consequence of his hidden vileness and hypocrisy, literally exposing his true nature to the community he had so profoundly betrayed. Juliet's appearance at this critical juncture is absolutely crucial. It reinforces the importance of trusted community allies and the power of a good reputation, providing an external validation for Rose's extraordinary actions in the face of false accusations.
Good point. Juliet's word carries weight.
Right. Rose's ability to write the physical forms of the men to match their inner character, turning them into a toad and a weasel, is a potent symbolic act. It's narrative justice made manifest, quite literally turning villains into their metaphorical counterparts, ensuring their external forms irrevocably reflect their internal corruption. This is a profound statement about the power of an author, a bibliomancer, to define and reshape identity based on moral truth, and then articulate the precise factual details of their crimes for legal recourse. It's a blend of the magical and the legal, with Roiv acting as both judge and executioner of truth.
And then we get the climactic demonstration of Rose's bibliomancy, a literal and immediate consequence for dishonesty that cuts through all pretense. The chilling "lie then die" verdict.
Lie then die. That's intense.
The head deacon's wife arrives, and Rose employs her ultimate authoress power, declaring, "The next person to lie will fall over dead." The implications of this are absolutely staggering.
No room for error there.
None. The wife, under this chilling, undeniable threat, finally admits she didn't know exactly what he was doing, but I knew it wasn't right. A partial truth, maybe, but enough.
She avoids the ultimate penalty, at least.
The preacher, given a choice between being a permanent weasel or facing jail, wisely chooses jail, which tells you just how profoundly effective that particular transformation was.
Yeah, jail sounds better than being a weasel forever.
The head deacon, however, makes one final damning lie about assaulting his own daughter, a girl who was 14, the same age Salome was when she was first assaulted, and with the stark poof, he instantly and permanently transforms back into a toad. The consequences are immediate and irreversible.
This is a truly profound and ethically charged moment, the ultimate test of truth. Rose's power, the next person to lie will fall over dead, is the literal and absolute truth serum. It strips away all pretense, all self-deception, and forces absolute, unvarnished truth, regardless of the personal cost. The profound ethical weight of this power is immense. It leaves no room for shading the truth, for excuses, or for self-preservation through dishonesty. It's a terrifying yet undeniably effective instrument of justice.
It forces the truth out no matter what.
Exactly. The head deacon's wife's admission, under such dire duress, reveals the often painful complicity that silence can foster within communities. But the emotional impact of the head deacon's final damning lie, not just about Salome but about his own daughter, is devastating, revealing a level of depravity that is truly shocking. His instant permanent transformation into a toad is poetic justice, sealing his fate as the vile creature he truly is. This moment powerfully highlights the absolute nature of truth when confronted by bibliomancy and the irreversible consequences of denying it. It's a statement about ultimate accountability, where truth dictates destiny.
Following this intense demonstration of justice and truth, we get a truly heartwarming and deeply satisfying resolution. A necessary cool-down, maybe. Rose brings Salome to Mad Maggie's magical bakery, the very place we visited earlier in our deep dive, a place now imbued with a sense of sanctuary.
Back to the bakery, the safe space.
Lily warmly welcomes Salome, showing her a much nicer and cheerier bedroom, a stark contrast to her previous living situation. More than just a room, Lily offers Salome schooling and a weekend job, providing her with both education and a sense of purpose and belonging.
That's wonderful. A real fresh start.
Rose, ever supportive, offers continued help in the form of books and conversation, reinforcing her commitment to Salome's well-being. Salome, in a simple but profoundly powerful statement, expresses her deep happiness at being out of where she was.
This segment provides a clear, incredibly heartwarming resolution to Salome's traumatic situation, fulfilling Rose's promise to help and demonstrating the long-term impact of Rose's intervention. It's not just about punishment for the perpetrators, it's profoundly about providing healing, safety, and a fresh start for the victim. This segment beautifully reinforces themes of community, compassion, and the power of second chances, showing how collective care can mend broken lives.
The community steps.
Yes. Lily's warm welcome and the offer of education and employment demonstrate the restorative power of a supportive community. It underscores Rose's commitment to using her power for positive, transformative good, providing not just justice but a genuine pathway to a better life for Salome. It's a testament to the idea that true justice isn't just about retribution, but also about rehabilitation and, crucially, about creating safe and nurturing environments where individuals can thrive and rediscover their own agency. This is Rose shaping a new reality, not just with big magic, but with acts of profound kindness and community building.
So what does this all mean? After all that drama, the intense transformation, the profound demonstration of her unique bibliomancy, Rose is still pushing forward, always looking for new ways to connect and explore, building something new and communal. It's such a wonderful snapshot of her character. We find Rose enthusiastically proposing starting a book club.
A book club, after all that.
Right. Offering to do all the work, a true testament to her passion for stories. Lou, Lily, and Salome readily agree, with Salome stating she'd love to get out of the bakery for a change, which is a lovely touch of humor and personality.
Good for Salome. Getting out.
Sparky initially resists, but true to form is eventually ambushed into agreeing, promising to buy the wine each week, which feels like a classic Spooky move.
Huh. Grudgingly supportive Sparky.
Rose plans to invite Juliet, aiming for 5 initial members, and they even brainstorm diverse genres like horror, romance, fantasy, and mystery.
This project perfectly exemplifies Rose's continued drive to build community and share her love of literature, even after the intense, dramatic events she's just navigated. It showcases her natural leadership and her remarkable ability to inspire others, transforming a group of acquaintances into a nascent social circle, a real hub of intellectual and emotional connection.
It brings them all together.
Yeah. Sparky's grudging agreement, promising to buy the wine, is a delightful moment of humor and clearly indicates his growing affection and tolerance for Rose's endeavors, despite his gruff exterior. This book club isn't just a social activity, it's an initiative that brings together the key women in Rose's new life, strengthening their bonds through shared intellectual and emotional experiences. It's a return to a more domestic, yet equally purposeful application of her powers of connection and storytelling. It solidifies the idea that even after wielding immense reality-altering power, Rose remains fundamentally an author, driven by the power of narrative and connection.
And this book club, in a way, is another form of deep diving into shared stories. A perfect metaphor for our own show, wouldn't you say? It's designed to lead a group into a different book each week, exploring various genres and perspectives. It really connects back to the broader theme of our deep dive itself, the exploration of different narratives and the power they hold, both fictional and personal.
Absolutely. This initiative further solidifies the importance of stories, both fictional and personal, in fostering understanding and connection within this newly forged community. It positions Rose not just as an author, but as a facilitator of shared intellectual and emotional experiences. Through the book club, Rose is again using words and narratives, this time those of others, to bring people together, spark discussion, and deepen relationships.
Using stories to build bridges.
Exactly. It's a quiet, yet incredibly powerful testament to the enduring human need for shared narratives and the profound impact they can have on building community, empathy, and a shared future. It shows that the power of words isn't just in grand reality-altering acts, but also in the intimate, communal acts of reading and discussing stories together.
What an incredible deep dive we've had today. From Rose's initial jitters about a new life and the wild eccentricities of her wizard boss, through the blossoming romance and unwavering support from Lou, then the astonishing discovery of her bibliomancer powers and her fierce, unwavering fight for justice for Salome, we've witnessed a character truly come into her own.
A remarkable journey.
It's a powerful reminder that our words, in any form, can have profound and often unexpected effects, capable of both creating worlds and reshaping realities. And with that book club on the horizon, bringing her community together through shared stories, it's abundantly clear that Rose's story is just getting started.
Indeed. This journey with Rose has illuminated how personal growth, the complexities of relationships, and the vast implications of unique abilities can intertwine to create a truly compelling narrative. The material challenges us to consider the profound responsibility that comes with power, especially when that power literally shapes reality and defines truth. Rose's story asks us to reflect on the nature of justice and the moral tightrope one might walk when possessing such immense influence.
Makes you think.
It really does. So as you go about your day, perhaps consider, what words are you writing into your own story, metaphorically or literally, and how might they shape the world around you and the connections you build? What stands out to you from Rose's deep dive today?